hello. How you guys? So this message is going to be for Leo women born in July. What it do, boo? You looking like shit. I ain't even trying to act like, what, I'm better than you, but I am. And I said, you know what? She don't even care about your hair, huh? You thought that they would care about this and they would care about that and make themselves feel like, you know what, they're insignificant. It ain't working no more. I said, shit, what we gonna do? It ain't working no more. And I said, it's not. A lot of things that people have been playing, this race card, this skin card, this hair card, that stuff ain't working as, powerful as it used to work back in the day. I said, whatever spell they have put on a multitude of people is shattering. And grandma said, you starting to notice that too. Be like, shit, people just looking at you as a person. And I'll say, yeah, we ain't got time for your bullshit, boo. Hey, bullshitter. She gonna get it done. And I'll say, yeah, I know people like you. Come on, let's get it done, boo. And grandma said, that's what he knows too. I said, I could pass for this, but I am kind of like that. And I don't want to tell people my truth. I said, yeah, this is that bitch. You passing too? Yeah. And the other bitch is passing. And the other bitch is passing. And I said, shit, the ones that is truly the motherfucking nationality and race that they are supposed to be, that is passing for another race, is horrible to their own race. And I said, that's that nigga, boo. I said, yeah. Tell your story, boo. I said, yeah, that was disrespectful. I said, shit. You've been through a lot of disrespect, haven't you? And I said, that's what we know here too. I said, shit, people like that. It's surprised that y'all ain't just took over and started blowing up shit, baby. And I said, because they want peace. And that's what I'm finna get them, peace. You want some peace of mind, boo? Let me not say nothing stupid today. And grandma said, that's what you need to know here too. They decided to not say nothing derogatory. And I said, yeah, because that one can come back and say a lot. And I said, don't we know it here too? Yeah, it says I sabotage our connection because it was too intense. So whatever you feel, it's not working. See? And I said, nigga, if I come your way and ain't nothing going on, I'm going to be pissed. And that's what that nigga did. That nigga said ain't shit going on. So why did you lie? See? Because you don't want people to be deemed as amazing as they are, huh? And grandma said, that's what the fuck it is. That's an amazing ass bitch. And I said, you know what? I just swapped out for a second. And you know what? They is amazing shit. What it do, bitch? And that's what someone needs to know here too. It says you're always on my mind, but I'm not thinking of you like that. I'm thinking of you like, how fucking stupid can you be? And God said, y'all all got this bitch twisted. And that's someone's truth here too. I say, you know what? And that's the old bitch. And y'all acting like the bitch ain't old. I said, that's the old bitch. And y'all want to sit up here and act like they in their 20s and all this other stuff. I said, that's not, no. Did you lie and say that? Yeah, you did. And grandma said, keep it on the hush. Yeah, it says, I want to apologize. I need your forgiveness. So someone needs to, you know what, communicate effectively. And I said, this bitch communicates effectively. So why you lie about that? And I said, all y'all have done the same thing to this bitch. And you act like what? They don't do what they supposed to do. I said, this bitch took over everything. And you know what? In 2.2 seconds. And you acted like what? She was stupid, boo? I said, yeah. You one of them. I'll say, you know what? Don't fucking talk to me ever again. I don't want to be associated with people that act like you. And that's what that bitch said. And God said, ain't that the truth? It says your energy is intoxicating and is pulling me in. So someone wants to, you know what? Not communicate with you, but they do want to rub on you. They think you dumb as hell and they don't want to, you know what, communicate with you. They want to rub on you. That's what you need to know here too. It says, I realize all the mistakes that I've made. See, when that bitch was telling her story, the other bitch had a motherfucking story in her mind too. I say, yeah, we all can tell these stories. And that's someone's truth here too. It says, I'm afraid of commitment. So someone is looking like shit. I don't even think I want to, you know what, be tied down with this situation. But it ain't a situation, and they know that too. I say, you know what? They made a difference. And they got shit done. And you just, you know what, do random shit. And you ain't fully there. And God said, that's what you know too. I said, whatever that bitch is doing, I don't think I want to do what that bitch doing. And God said, that's what you need to know here, boo. Blaming others. It says negative self-image. This card has been coming out for every reading. That's about 50 cards here. It says unprocessed past trauma. It says feeling incomplete. Jealousy. Someone is saying, you know what? You broke. You know why? Because you're doing too many lines of cocaine. And you can't even look how somebody else is looking. And grandma said, ain't that the truth? And nobody gives a fuck about your hair. You like shit and they don't. And that's your truth, boo. Perfectionism is here. Tell me more for these Leo women born in July. Yeah, it says your mind's forever and ever. Someone don't mind communicating with you in order to get you to take your clothes off. That's what you need to know here too. Yeah, it says I want you. This person wants you to, you know what, not say shit. Just let me, you know what, rub all over you, boo. Yeah, it says I wish we could be together, but it's complicated here too. Yeah, it says you have to be patient. And then it says I dream about a future with you. Overall energy, we were always meant to meet. It was written in the stars. That's your message. Bye.